The Anderson Technologies boardroom reeked of expensive cologne and generations of privilege. 23 board members sat around the mahogany table, each representing a piece of my family's legacy, a legacy they'd denied me since birth. I sat in the back corner, my designer suit hidden beneath a maintenance uniform. The plastic badge on my chest read, Emily Carter Maintenance Staff, just like my father's had for 30 years before his death. The annual shareholders meeting will begin shortly, announced Patricia, my Uncle Richard's secretary. She barely glanced in my direction as she distributed the meeting packets. To her, I was just another member of the cleaning staff, invisible like my father had been. My Uncle Richard, current CEO of Anderson Technologies, strode in with his usual arrogance. His Italian leather shoes probably cost more than my father's monthly salary. Behind him came my cousins James and Victoria, both vice presidents despite their complete lack of qualifications. Before we begin, Richard announced, straightening his tie, I'd like to address the rumors about a hostile takeover attempt. He smiled, that practiced predatory grin I'd grown up hating. Rest assured, Anderson Technologies remains firmly in family hands. If he only knew. I thought back to that day 6 years ago when everything changed. My father had just died, his decades of loyalty to Anderson Technologies rewarded with a measly pension that barely covered his medical bills. I'd stood in this same boardroom, college acceptance letter in hand, begging for the scholarship program my grandfather had promised the children of long-term employees. The janitor's daughter has no place here, Uncle Richard had sneered. Know your place, girl. Some people are meant to serve, not lead. That day I'd made a vow over my father's grave. I would take everything from them, not for revenge but for justice. For every employee they'd exploited, every promise they'd broken, every person they'd looked down on. I'd taken my father's life insurance money, $50,000, and instead of using it for college, I'd invested it in tech startups. Living in a tiny studio apartment, working 3 jobs, I built my portfolio carefully, strategically. Every success was reinvested, every opportunity maximized. While my cousins partied on the company yacht, I learned everything about Anderson Technologies. Its strengths, its weaknesses, its outdated systems, and most importantly, its vulnerabilities. Now, 5 years later, I controlled 51% of the company's shares through a complex web of shell corporations and holding companies. Not even their army of lawyers had detected the careful accumulation of power. Today, everything would change. Moving on to the first order of business, Richard continued, the board will vote on my proposal to dissolve the employee pension fund. My hand tightened on my briefcase. Of course, he would try to eliminate the pensions. One last act of cruelty before his empire crumbled. The fund is unnecessary overhead, he explained, and the money would be better used for executive bonuses and shareholder dividends. James, my cousin, smirked. Not like the maintenance staff needs retirement plans anyway. That was my cue. I stood up, removing the maintenance uniform to reveal my Armani suit underneath. The board members stared, confusion turning to recognition on some of their faces. The older ones remembered me, the janitor's daughter who dared to ask for an education. Emily Carter, I announced, walking to the head of the table. Or should I say Emily Anderson? Richard's face reddened. What is the meaning of this? Security. I wouldn't, I said calmly, opening my briefcase. After all, you don't want to throw out the majority shareholder. The room fell silent as I placed the ownership documents on the table. Years of careful acquisition, each share purchased through different entities, all leading to this moment. Impossible, Richard whispered, scanning the papers. These shares, Phoenix Holdings, Global Ventures, they're all me, I finished for him. Every single one. While you were busy maintaining your country club memberships, I was building something. Something you never saw coming. Victoria, always quick to switch allegiances, spoke up. But, how? You're just a janitor's daughter? I smiled, remembering my father's words. Dad always said the best way to understand a business was from the ground up. He spent 30 years watching, learning, understanding every detail of this company while you all ignored him. I projected my presentation onto the boardroom screen. Anderson Technologies is failing. Your technology is outdated, your management is corrupt, and your treatment of employees is shameful. Today that changes. Richard stood up, face purple with rage. You have no right. This company has been in our family for generations. Our family? I raised an eyebrow. Funny how I'm only family when it suits you. Tell me, Uncle Richard, do you remember what you said to me the day after my father's funeral? He paled slightly. You said some people are meant to serve, not lead. You told me to know my place. I sat in his chair, the CEO's chair. Well, this is my place now. The board members shifted uncomfortably. They'd all enabled this system, benefited from it. Now they were witnessing its collapse. The first order of business, I announced, is not dissolving the pension fund. Instead, we're expanding it. Every employee, from executives to maintenance staff, will receive equal retirement benefits. You'll destroy the company, James shouted. I pulled up the financial projections. Actually, by cutting executive bonuses and implementing my modernization plan, we'll increase profitability by 300% within 2 years. While you were buying yachts, I was designing the future of this company. My phone buzzed, a message from Sarah, my father's former colleague in maintenance. Everyone's watching the live stream in the break room. You did it, Emily. Because that was the real secret. I hadn't just bought shares, I'd built relationships with every level of employee. The security guards who'd let me in wearing maintenance uniforms, the IT staff who'd helped me gather evidence of corruption, the cleaning crews who'd been my eyes and ears. They were all part of this revolution. There will be changes, I continued, addressing the board. Significant ones. Those of you who want to be part of the new Anderson Technologies are welcome to stay, starting with required time working alongside our maintenance and service staff. Richard slumped in his chair, decades of power evaporating. You can't do this. We're your family. No, I corrected him. These people are my family. I gestured to the security feed showing employees gathering in break rooms throughout the building, watching the live stream of this meeting. The ones you looked down on, ignored, treated as invisible. They're the heart of this company, and it's time they were treated that way. I stood up, straightening my jacket. The meeting will reconvene tomorrow at 9 a.m. Those who wish to remain with the company will report to facilities management for their new training assignments. Those who don't, severance packages are being prepared. As board members filed out, some shell-shocked, others already trying to curry favor, I remained at the head of the table. Victoria lingered, looking lost. Cousin, she said hesitantly, I know I should have. Save it, I cut her off. Your actions tomorrow will speak louder than any words today. Left alone in the boardroom, I walked to the window overlooking the city. Somewhere up there my father was watching. He taught me that true power wasn't in titles or corner offices, but in understanding every level of a business, respecting every person who contributed to its success. We did it, Dad, I whispered. But this was just the beginning. The real work, transforming Anderson Technologies into what it should have been all along, was about to start. The morning after the takeover, I arrived at Anderson Technologies at 5 a.m., the same time my father used to start his shift. The early morning cleaning crew paused their work, offering smiles and quiet congratulations. These were my people, the ones who kept the company running while executives took long lunches and claimed credit for others' work. Ms. Anderson, called out Manuel, who'd worked alongside my father for 20 years. Your father would be proud. But be careful, Los Serpientes always strike when wounded. He was right. I'd won the battle, but the war was far from over. The Anderson family wouldn't surrender their kingdom without a fight. My new office, formerly Uncle Richard's, had been cleared of his expensive artwork and pretentious decorations. Instead, I'd hung a single photo. My father in his maintenance uniform, smiling proudly on my high school graduation day. Below it sat his old toolbox, a reminder of where I came from. Ms. Anderson, my AI assistant announced, there's a situation in the lobby. The security feed showed Richard, James, and Victoria, accompanied by a team of lawyers. Right on schedule. Let them up, I instructed. And activate Protocol Alpha. Minutes later they burst into my office. Richard's face was red with barely contained rage, his perfect composure shattered. You think you've won? He snarled, throwing a stack of legal papers on my desk. We're contesting the share acquisition. Claiming fraud, market manipulation dash. Is that before or after I reveal your offshore accounts? I interrupted, pulling up a holographic display. The ones where you've been hiding company profits to avoid taxes? Or maybe we should discuss the environmental violations you've been covering up. His face went from red to white. How did you? I told you, I learned this company from the ground up. The maintenance staff sees everything, hears everything. While you were holding private meetings in this office, the cleaning crew was documenting every illegal deal, every corrupt transaction. Victoria stepped forward, always the pragmatist. What do you want? Money? A higher position? What I want, I said, standing up, is to fix what you broke. To make this company what it should have been. I activated another display, showing real-time data from every department. In the past 24 hours, employee morale has increased 60%. Productivity is up 45%. Simply by announcing the expanded pension plan and profit-sharing program, we've seen a surge in innovation and efficiency. Those are our profits. James protested. No, they're the profits generated by everyone's hard work. And now they'll be shared accordingly. Richard's lawyer stepped forward. Ms. Anderson, our injunction has already been denied. I cut him off. Check your phone. Right on cue, their phones buzzed with the news. The judge had thrown out their case, citing the overwhelming evidence of corporate misconduct I'd submitted. You've lost, I said simply. The only question is whether you'll lose everything or adapt to the new reality. Victoria, ever the survivor, spoke first. What are our options? Option 1. Fight me, lose everything, and face potential criminal charges for the evidence I've collected. I let that sink in before continuing. Option 2. Accept positions in the reorganized company, starting at entry level, working alongside the people you've looked down on. Learn the business properly, earn your place. Entry level? James looked horrified. We're Andersons. So am I reminded him. But I earned my position by understanding every aspect of this company. You want to stay? You'll do the same. Richard hadn't moved, staring at my father's photo on the wall. He knew, didn't he? All these years keeping records, watching us. Dad believed in this company even when it didn't believe in him. He taught me that true leadership means serving others, not exploiting them. My phone buzzed, urgent messages from department heads across the company. The transformation was already beginning. Teams were integrating, barriers breaking down, innovation flowing freely now that people weren't afraid to speak up. Time to decide, I announced. The maintenance department starts orientation in 30 minutes. Victoria, James, if you want to stay, report to Manuel. He'll be overseeing your training. Victoria straightened her designer suit. I'll do it. This company, it's all I know. I want to learn to do it right. James looked between his sister and father before nodding slowly. Me too. But will they even accept us after everything? That depends on you, I said. These people have more grace than you deserve. Earn their respect, and you might find the family you never knew you had. They left quietly, leaving me alone with Richard. He seemed smaller somehow, his arrogance stripped away. Your father, he said finally, came to me the day before he died. Asked me to take care of you, make sure you got an education. I laughed in his face. I know. I was behind the door listening. He flinched. I've spent my life looking down on people like him, like you. Now look where it got me. The difference between us, Uncle Richard, isn't money or education. It's understanding that every person has value, every job has dignity. And me? He asked quietly. What's my place in your new order? I handed him a folder. There's a position open in corporate responsibility. Working with community outreach, employee welfare. A chance to learn what you should have known all along. Why offer me anything? Because that's what real leaders do, they lift people up, even those who tried to keep them down. The next few months transformed Anderson Technologies. Victoria discovered a talent for employee relations, her social skills finally used for something meaningful. James, stripped of his arrogance, became an innovative problem solver once he actually learned how the company worked. And Richard? He started small, working with community programs, learning names, hearing stories. Slowly, the man who'd sneered at the janitor's daughter became an advocate for workplace equality. 1 year after the takeover, I stood in the renovated lobby, unveiling the new company memorial. A wall of photos honored every employee who'd helped build Anderson Technologies, from executives to maintenance staff. At the center was my father's picture, his kind eyes watching over the company he'd loved. Today, I addressed the gathered employees. We celebrate not just our record profits or technological innovations but our people. Every person who makes this company work, from the cleaning crews to the coding teams. The applause was genuine, the smiles real. Victoria and James stood with their former subordinates, now colleagues and friends. Richard watched from the back, humbled but finally understanding. My father told me once that a company is only as strong as its foundation, I continued. He meant the people, all the people who build it, maintain it, make it grow. Today, Anderson Technologies stands on the strongest foundation possible: respect, dignity, and opportunity for all. Manuel approached, carrying my father's old toolbox. For you, Haifa. He'd want you to have it in your office. I opened it, finding not just tools, but decades of careful notes, observations, and wisdom. My father had been preparing me for this role all along, teaching me to see what others missed, to value what they ignored. The janitor's daughter, Victoria said softly beside me. Now we know why that's something to be proud of. Because sometimes the greatest leaders come from the most unexpected places. Sometimes it takes someone who knows both the penthouse and the basement to build something truly great. Sometimes the person they tried to keep invisible becomes the one they can't ignore. I am Emily Anderson, daughter of John Carter, and I built my empire from the ground up, just like my father taught me.